Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we'll be fabricating a workbench for my son's new home that he's living in. My daughter-in-law requested that I do this for him. So in these stages, I am prefabbing the workbench in my own shop. I'll do it in components. I will then disassemble it and take it to Pittsburgh to be reassembled in my son's basement by surprise. So in these steps, you'll see me start by cutting the 5/8 OSB to length and width for the top shelf and bottom shelf. A good friend of mine who inspired me to start producing these videos has been under the weather, so with that thought, I'd like to dedicate this video to my good friend, and again, you know who you are. So the fun part about this whole production is my son doesn't know that it's coming, so we had to figure out a way to get him out of the house so I could transport this in pieces in my car to his house an hour and a half away, assemble it in his basement, and get out before he got back. So I tried to do as much prefabrication as I could to make that work. Now that the top and middle shelf pieces have been cut, I'll get on to the prefabrication of the frame and legs. To those of you who have seen some of my past videos, you'll see that I now have a mobile wood storage cart that allows me to move it around the shop more effectively and get it out of my way. You will also note in some upcoming videos that I have upgraded my dust collection system to be more mobile, but that's for a future video. I was given about 90 inches for the total length of this workbench. I made it 30 inches deep, and the second shelf has been recessed, which you'll see at the end pictures, and it is 18 inches deep. And it's about 30 inches high, which is a comfortable height for working. My son likes to do some projects, and this space for his basement will be perfect for that. So here's the basic outline of the frame. I'm now using joist hangers to do some cross members for strength. I know I don't have to do that, but I like the added strength that the joist hangers gives to this kind of project. It won't be anchored to a wall, it'll be freestanding, so everything I could do to make it strong was the goal. I would occasionally check this diagonally for square, knowing that this was going to be transported in a car. It was going to be moved around a little bit, but I tried to keep it square as best I could. And in the end, the overall project was maybe an eighth of an inch out of square in 90 inches. So I was overall pretty pleased with that. My basement floor is not exactly level, so I had to shim this frame off of my sawhorses to make sure it was level. So when I did my dry fit for the legs and everything else, they'd be level and perpendicular like they needed to be. I also did a final cut on the bottom of the legs to make sure they were all the same exact length. In this step, I'm going to be producing the legs, which are a two-part that fits down and is recessed, supporting the frame. And it makes a little more sense when you see this. But I've used this before, and it's very strong, easy to make, and it's quick. So you'll see that in these next minute or so. So in this step, I'm making the final trim to length. So each one of the legs is exactly the same length. with the same recess to hold the frame itself, and it worked out very nicely. So here you can see each one of the legs, checking now for level and square, and they won't be final attached until they are installed in the basement of my son's house. I'm measuring here for the back brace for the second shelf, which I don't really show in this video. So now that it's been fabricated, it had to be shoved into the back of my car and travel, as I said, about an hour and a half. So that's what that looked like. It was fun. So now that we've gotten my son out of his house, it was time for a quick construction, and all that time I put into the prefabrication really paid off. Mrs. Titan 84 was happy to help as well in this video. Unfortunately, some video was lost, not exactly sure how, of the final fabrication. So what isn't shown is going to be the installation of the supports for the second part of the shelf underneath and the installation of the top itself. But I will show a photograph of that toward the end. So fabrication is nearly complete. Some of the details are lost, but in the end, this is what it looked like. Very pleased with the final outcome. If you appreciate this type of content, please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll try to do more in the future. Thanks.